Hello dear friends and welcome back to Call the Wordsmith. Today we turn our attention to a song that I have heard is a scintillating and thought-provoking piece, Don't Tell Me I'm Pretty by Faouzia. For those of you who may be new, on this channel we explore the vocal nuances, lyrical intricacies and the deeper sentiments woven through captivating performances. So, if you enjoy thoughtful musical discourse and lyrical analyses, do consider subscribing and perhaps bestow a like, a comment, and a share upon this video. Each gesture helps this community to flourish. And also kindly consider supporting me financially if you are able to. If not, that's okay, I'm just happy you're here. Now, without further bloody ado, let's dive straight into it, shall we? Okay, Don't Tell Me I'm Pretty by Faouzia. So this is the Amazon Music breakthrough. So let's get into it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, bottle of water. Oh. Yes, vocalists.
I know I'm just too much to handle. I can't seem to let it go. Darling, if I'm mad, you bet you're gonna know.
Oh.
I can't keep it all in. Regretful.
Oh.
You got me crying in the shower. Look at the power that you hold.
I think she asked for more volume.
As the water falls down on the bathroom floor. I'm crying in the shower. Look at the power.
Her vocal timbre is something else. Okay, I'm going to pause it there. I feel like we're coming close to the chorus, but the lyrics there were rather depthful and her vocal is absolutely stunning. So let's take a look at that. So I am immediately struck by the sheer ornamental dexterity of Faouzia's vocal delivery, those exquisitely articulated riffs and agile melismas that seem to spiral effortlessly around the melodic line, as though her voice itself has momentarily unshackled itself from gravity. There is a kind of liquid intelligence in her phrasing. Each run is not merely decorative, but purpose-driven, sculpting emotional contour with near architectural precision. What particularly arrests the ear, however, is her deep, resonant timbre. It's not unexpected because I've done loads of Faouzia reaction videos by this point, but it just creates a compelling duality. It's a voice that's capable of filigree-like delicacy, yet simultaneously imbued with chest-borne gravity that feels almost confessional in its intimacy. And that juxtaposition gives the performance its magnetic tension, drawing us as the listeners into both technical admiration and emotional proximity, if you catch my drift. Now, lyrically, the opening verse presents a portrait of emotional volatility rendered with striking candor. I know I'm a handful. I know I'm just too much to handle. So that to me sounds not as self-deprecation alone, but as a moment of lucid self-awareness where vulnerability and frustration intermingle. There is an almost theatrical honesty in the admission of being emotionally uncontainable, as though she is standing under the unflinching light of relational consequence. The line, "Darling, I'm mad, you bet you're gonna know." That sort of suggests a refusal to internalize conflict, instead externalizing it with unvarnished immediacy. A psyche that does not simmer quietly but erupts in expressive clarity. Now, the next section there, which I'm assuming is a pre-chorus, deepens this emotional topography with a vivid metaphorical collapse. You got me crying in the shower, she sings. And that situates sorrow in a space of enforced privacy where water becomes both concealment and witness, The notion of power here is particularly arresting. Look at the power that you hold. Now that's framing emotional influence as something almost gravitational, pulling us as listeners into physical and psychological submission. The imagery of knees to the chest, I start to cower, that evokes a posture of instinctive self-protection, a fetal retreat into emotional shelter. Meanwhile, the falling water blurs the boundary between cleansing and collapse, as if the act of washing away tears paradoxically intensifies their presence. So I would say in that lyric, there's interplay of lyrical vulnerability and Faouzia's vocal intricate interpretation. One finds a performance that is as technically articulate as it is emotionally unguarded, because each melisma and breath seemingly echoing the very instability the lyrics so poignantly articulate. Okay, I'm really enjoying this, so let's keep it going.
You hold. Don't tell me I'm pretty. Don't say that I'm beautiful. I know if you love me, it would never go that far. Every lie's like la la da da da, la da da da.
Oh, that chorus hit a part in my ear. The chorus. It arrives with a kind of disarming inevitability, yet still manages to feel utterly beautiful in its execution. It is, quite frankly, one of the most compelling choruses I've listened to all year, not merely for its melodic construction, but for the exquisite vocal architecture underpinning it. The ascent into that head voice and head dominant mix is executed with finesse that borders on the uncanny, a seamless flip that never feels mechanically switched but rather organically morphed, as though the voice itself inhales and reconfigures its resonance mid-phrase. You see, the tone remains luminous throughout, piercing yet velvety, balancing brightness with an almost silken restraint, which is giving the melodic apex a sense of effortless inevitability rather than forced climatic strain. And again, this is Faouzia's lyrical brilliance. It's the don't tell me I'm pretty, don't say that I'm beautiful, which is funny because the woman looks like she was made in a lab. But my silly comment aside, that line, it resists what might conventionally be received as affirmation, instead reframing it as emotional dissonance, because there is a deeply compelling paradox here. The rejection of surface-level validation in favor of something far more existentially substantial, I'd say. The following line, I know if you've loved me, it would never go that far. Now, that line introduces a sobering lucidity, an understanding that aesthetic praise can become a substitute for, rather than a signifier of, genuine emotional commitment. So I'm assuming here that beauty in this context becomes almost suspect, a pleasant distraction from the absence of deeper relational certainty. Now, I love the syllabic refrain that she uses, this part. Now that functions almost like emotional deflection through abstraction, as if language itself briefly dissolves when confronted with uncomfortable truth. It is both childlike and eerily hollow, a melodic smokescreen behind which sincerity falters. In tandem with Faouzia's vocal agile interpretation, the chorus becomes a paradoxical space, sonically radiant, yet emotionally ambivalent, where technical brilliance and lyrical unease entwine in beautifully uneasy harmony. Okay, this is quickly becoming one of my top 5 favorite Faouzia songs, so let's keep it going.
You got such an ego, so much pride, it fills the whole cup. But when it starts to overflow, I get mad and then you say, don't go.
Head dominant mix, nice.
But I can't stay anymore.
Oh.
You got me crying in the shower.
Pre-chorus.
The power that you hold needs to just to start to cower as the water falls down on the floor.
She has a very distinct writing style.
In the shower, look at the power that you hold.
Come on, come on.
Don't tell me I'm pretty.
Yes.
Or that I'm beautiful. I know
You are, though.
don't love me. Oh, la da da, la da da, la da da, la da da da. Don't tell me I'm pretty.
Ooh. Yes, Faouzia. Oh, was this the stream collapsing? Okay, yeah. Definitely in my top 5 from her. Okay, so that was the second verse followed by the pre-chorus and then chorus. But the second verse, that arrived almost like the inevitable emotional consequence of everything that preceded it. It's a slow crystallization of relational imbalance that has been simmering beneath the surface since the opening admission of volatility and vulnerability. So when you take a look at it, you got such an ego, so much pride, it fills the whole cup. So that extends the metaphor of emotional saturation already implied earlier in this piece. So with all of that in mind, I would say the cup here becomes an exquisitely compact metaphor for relational capacity. You know, it's once it's filled to the brim with pride, there is no room left for tenderness, reciprocity, or the quiet permeability that healthy affection demands. And the imagery of overflow is particularly telling because pride is not static but accumulative, spilling over into the shared emotional space until it becomes uncontainable, almost invasive. It suggests a relationship in which imbalance is not incidental but structurally embedded. So her next lines, when it starts to overflow, I get mad and you say, don't go. So that introduces for me the familiar choreography of rupture and attempted repair. She has written like this before, and the anger is not presented as sudden chaos, but as a logical response to saturation. You know, it's a threshold that's been reached. Yet, the response she receives, don't go, carries a subtle contradiction. A plea for retention without a corresponding willingness to change the conditions that necessitate departure. It is the language of preservation without transformation. The next line that she uses, and I can't stay anymore, that lands with a stark, almost restrained finality. There is no melodrama here, no ornamental excess, just the quiet exhaustion of someone who has finally exhausted their emotional elasticity. So again, in the context of the entirety of the song's thematic preoccupation with misaligned perception, conditional affection, and the rejection of superficial validation, I would say the second verse, it sounds as the moment where internal realization becomes external decision. Feel like I might have gone deeper than I expected, but it was a deep song. So I hope you enjoy that reaction and lyrical and vocal analyses, ladies and gentlemen. If you did, please do like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Please consider donating to the channel if you can. All of the links are in the description below. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, do be kind, do be gentle. Please do be respectful to one another and help each other out when you can. And I'll see you lot in the next video. Take care. Cheers.